But it's my choice, whatever I choose, gotta make it work again. It closely lit the fire, out came words of hate, lust, and desire. Instead of standing here, I'd rather just stand slowly in the rain. You got something new, let me have a way away from you. In the distance you'll find time, 'cause in the distance you will learn to live again. But until then, you've gotta change your ways. Slowly dark flame fades away. You've gotta taste this pain. One you'll learn to appreciate. You've been looking for the lost one.
I'm Erin and I play bass.
And I'm Kiki the drummer, and I play drums.
My name is Guitar Gabby, and we're the TxLips Band. I'm from Atlanta, but everyone in the TxLips Band is from different places. So we have people that are from Miami, more Atlanteans, ATLians actually. But then there are people in different countries. We have some people in California, Canada, just everywhere. So, yeah.
And what type of music do you play?
Rock and roll. Grunge music is like the bubble that I would put it in.
So you mentioned that you have members of the band that live other places. Mm-hmm. And if I Google your name, what's it say? Like you're a collective, a rock and roll world, international collective or something? Explain this to me.
I'll give you the elevator speech that I give
Please.
people. Okay, so the TxLips Band is an international Black female rock collective. We have about 35 musicians that are around the world, different states, different countries. And the way that we pull it all together is when we have different concerts, touring. Sometimes we've done some acting and scoring. So that's one leg of business. And then the second leg of business is TxLips Academy, which is a nonprofit where we teach kids about the business behind the industry and how to strategize to make their passion, their career, and their paycheck. And then the third branch is TxLips Consulting Firm, which is where my lawyer piece comes in. I work with artists and professionals to teach them about intellectual property, contracting, setting up your business, etc. So that's the spiel.
That's the, it's a three-legged stool.
It is.
And yeah, I understand that. And so you are so much more than musicians. You're inspiration, you're the consultant to like help guide and help other musicians, and then you're teachers, this is awesome.
Thank you.
Right? Okay, so Kiki the drummer, you teach.
Yeah, I
drumming.
mainly teach. So I have a business here in Atlanta. It's called Atlanta Percussive Arts, and I teach all ages how to play drums. But not only do I teach, we have really cool performances where we bring in over like the best drummers in the world, right? So to name a few, we had Little John Roberts join us. We're having Juan Carlos Mendoza coming in. He's a big deal. And so, yeah.
And then we can't gloss over the fact that Gabby mentioned you're a lawyer. Mm-hmm. So you're a rock and roll lawyer. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. Like, where did you go to law school? When did this happen? Tell me more. Yeah.
So growing up, I was one of those kids that loved being outdoors, but I also loved coming in the garage and playing my guitar. Then I also was intrigued by understanding how and why things are the way they are, rather than understanding the thing itself, if that makes sense. So for me, that can look like understanding how a guitar is built rather than memorizing how to play a guitar. To me, it kind of helps cultivate a relationship. So I have the same approach with law. So that being said, I went to Spelman, I studied environmental science, and then from there I went to Vermont Law School and I studied environmental law and policy, and then branched off to studying entertainment law. So I guess went in different directions, but while I was in those different directions, I was still doing the other things in other directions, so that I could get to a point of bringing it all together and cultivating a space where I'm able to connect with other like-minded people like Erin and Kiki, and then we just continue using our different passions and avenues of teaching and whatnot to just reach people and help change people's perspective.
Fascinating. It really is. Like, this is cool. You're so much more than a band. You're a business. So, Erin, how did you meet Gabby?
I think we met on Instagram.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Actually, I had seen Gabby in a couple shows because I had been in like various music projects. So I had seen her perform, but we never met. And then I think she might have found my Instagram, and then she DM'd me. And because I already knew who she was, she was like, "Do you want to play for me?" And I was like, "Oh my God, yes."
I'm screaming.
And that was like in 2019.
Okay.
So I want to say, yeah, because it was before the pandemic, because I remember like during the pandemic.
It was before the panorama.
Yeah, the panorama. But yeah, so that's how we met, and we've been playing together ever since.
Cause in the distance you'll find time. Cause in the distance you will learn to live again. But until then, you gotta change your ways. A slowly talk that fades away. You gotta change this pain. One you'll learn to appreciate. You've been looking for a lost one.
So tell me about the intention you have of lifting women of color with this project.
You know, I think we probably all can identify with just growing up and not always having representation, meaning someone that looks like us in the magazines that we go to the store to buy, on billboards, even on the internet. They're just growing up, I didn't have a lot of those avenues. We didn't have a lot of those avenues. So I think it kind of comes full circle in so many different ways, because now each of us are kind of doing things in a way that's giving back to our community, also uplifting people through inspiring and just existing, but then also helping people change their perspective and looking at life differently. There's two sides to every coin. My dad always says your cup is half empty or it's half full. It just depends on how you choose to look at it. And our experiences, the people that we're around, you know, cultivate the way that we look at life. So I think through the TxLips Band, our whole objective is helping people to shift their perspective. It can be good or bad. It just depends again on, you know, what's going on. But ultimately, if you're able to use your passion to help shift your perspective, then you're able to show up in the world different. So it's a matter of starting up here and in here.
You want to tell me more? You want to expound on it?
Yeah, so I think when I first met Gabby, I saw her at a show, and she didn't know it yet, but I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be your drummer. Like, she had no idea, but like I kind of, you know, definitely thought that beforehand, and I don't know how I actually became your drummer. I
probably just messaged you.
Most like maybe, you know, but then we did the Indigo Girls show, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think I've been your drummer ever since.
Ever since then, yeah.
It's pretty cool. Well, at least in Atlanta.
Yeah. Although that was in Florida, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
So.
We're just going down memory lane now.
Yeah, reminiscing.
I love it. I really am. So for me, I'm fascinated by all of this because it is obviously a passion. So music is obviously a passion. You're obviously very talented at it. All three of you that are here, and I imagine the rest of the international members are just as talented. But it's so interesting to me that it is more than even wanting to be a full-time musician. It's wanting to progress further into being, like I said, a business, and then like empowering people and empowering other musicians and empowering musicians who don't have representation for whatever reason. And I feel like a lot of people talk the talk, and they talk about these ideas. Yeah. Oh, I wish I could do that, or I hope I could do that. But you're actually doing it. So how did you get to do that?
Just, I have like 8 answers in one that I'm combining. It started with education. It starts with education, which is why I think that's actually one thing that I think more of us than not have in common in the collective. A lot of us come from a teaching background. We're currently teaching, and when I say teaching, that's in any capacity. And a lot of my teaching background was in nonprofit, doing after-school programming, environmental science, music. For you, music and other things probably too. You teach also. Make that face.
I will say, to piggyback off of Gabby's, like, this is the first time, like, even at my school, that I'm seeing a diverse, like a diverse group of students. I have so many like 3-year-olds and 5-year-olds who are, you know, little girls. And growing up, I did not see that. You know, and I'm pretty sure, you know, me as their teacher, you know, that's something that, like, I at least did not see, you know, when I grew up in the 90s. I'm giving my age, but but I think it's cool and it's important, you know, for us to be seen, and for, you know, like, young girls and young boys to kind of, you know, see us and like, oh yeah, that's possible.
So is there a stigma for women in rock and roll?
Oh, absolutely.
I think there's a stigma for women in a lot of spaces, like the earth. But specifically in music, for sure, and especially when we zoom into like rock and roll, which is fascinating considering the history of it, you know, being birthed from a Black career woman. So I think that it's, again, like a very interesting full circle moment that we're having in history, where you have artists like us, and you also have movements like Punk Black and Afro-Punk and a whole bunch of other movements that are kind of reclaiming our time, if you will, in a sense of education, teaching people, you know, the history of where not just rock came from, but just like the history of music and how collaborating with other people from different backgrounds, people with different trains of thoughts and different perspectives, cultivated the sounds that we now use today to inspire others. So music is a universal tool, but I think when you remove voices from it, specifically voices of color, you know, you kind of set up the world to be in a place where everyone's voices are not heard. People are not seeing music as a lens that they can use to find themselves or to find freedom or to connect with others.
Silver tunnels in my head again. It's distant pipelines of your ignorance. I see the changes moving right through me. It's not enough to take your misery, so we go searching through your lies. Believe there's change this time. I see the colors never fade away. The world's secret's been confined.
So this project, is it a full-time job?
Yes and no. So I think it depends on what angle you're asking it from and who you're asking. Okay. For me, it is a full-time job because I'm running the ship and kind of collaborating with other people to continue building and adding on to what we have built over the years. So for me, it is a full-time job.
Okay.
But then there are some moments where there are some musicians in the band who will just kind of come in and just exist in a studio capacity, which means they might, you know, come in, you know, once a year or twice a year. I don't know, whatever our session schedule is, because that varies too, but it just varies. So yes and no.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Do y'all tour?
Yes and no. So that's also on, well, it's because questions like, every time people ask me questions like this, I feel like in a traditional band or traditional setting, you would have a traditional answer, which is yes or no. But for the TxLips, it's a little bit different because we're not set up like a traditional band. We don't operate or exist like one either. Starting off, lots of touring because, you know, we were really just trying to get our name out there. Again, just build the foundation of everything, which was how we ended up doing the Indigo Girls tour. That was a lot of fun. Did the Queens of New Age tour, which was my first like personal tour. But I'm, again, blessed that we're at a point now where we can kind of pick and choose what exactly that looks like. So yes, but not on a traditional model or a traditional scale of touring.
So you've mentioned the Indigo Girls a couple times. So you went on tour and opened for the Indigo Girls? When?
20, that's what we were trying to figure out. It was 2016, 2017, something around there.
So you said one of the parts of your business is about consulting.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you consult? Like, how does that work, and what do you tell people?
Okay, so the short version with that, everything is so complex, but the short version with that is a lot of consulting. Let me start with the kids portion. So through the TxLips Academy, we partner with other camps around the world. Girls Rock Camp is one of the camps that we worked with a lot over the years. And so when we were going into camps, we were consulting with the camp as an organization to help them create the framework for building more intentionally diverse spaces for kids of color to come and experience and have, you know, that good camp experience. So that was one avenue of it. But then on the other side of it, while we were working with those camps, we were consulting, if you will, with kids. So teaching them, what do you want to do? What are your goals? What are your passions? Let's like write you a business plan and get you thinking on the right track. That's one side of it. But then another side of it is I do consulting with different instrument manufacturing companies, helping them to think more sustainably. Sometimes that comes through the lens of writing. So I write for Guitar World magazine, and the last 3 pieces that I did was focused on how can the instrument manufacturing industry build instruments more sustainably. Because we're using a lot of wood up, we got to think of something different. So consulting in different capacities. And then, of course, just working with artists about how do I copyright my stuff? How do you read this contract? You know, building strategies. So for me, it's all from a strategic perspective, and then you kind of break out into the subject matter from there.
You are not like your average guitar playing lady. You're really not. And it's super impressive.
Thank you.
Yes, like, it is super impressive. Aaron, Kiki, like, what's it like? Like, I have friends that are like way smarter than me, and sometimes talking to them can be hard. And so I'm curious if sometimes this lawyer stuff gets too heady for you, or can y'all go right along with it?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like she's extremely organized. She doesn't miss a beat. I don't have to like text like, hey, what time? Like she already sent out a sheet and it tells you where you need to be, what needs to be done, what song. So I have to say like the whole lawyer and is it okay if I say type A? Is that
Yeah, oh, I'm very type A. Yeah, okay. Very type A.
Yeah, but it works, and if I do need advice, I can just call Gabby. So it's been awesome.
Been a goddess, a queen, no doubt. All this time they send spies to check me out. I mean, it's giving power, it can't be touched. Like my crown, all this power is way too much. It's like new level, the devil's the same. Especially when it's different places calling my name. You see, the term must be a refrain unless you call one of my queens that will always reign. Look. So we go. Promised on its way.
When I first started playing the guitar, my approach was I want to understand it. So I would take them apart and try to put them back together. I did that with my first guitar. And then after that, I had a notebook where I would just kind of write out different ideas of what I would want guitars to look like one day. If I could build a guitar, what would it look like? What I want it made from. So I lost that notebook about 5 years ago. I was cleaning up. I came across it and I said, you know what? What if this is the time in my career where like God had this timing for me? So I was going through the notebook. Acid Tone Guitars is the name of it. And all of my designs, the foundation of them, where I want them to be built sustainably. So that can mean getting sustainable wood, which is there is a company in Canada that I do partner with, Thermal Wood Canada. And they build, or they have different types of wood. One of them is called obsidian, which is what that neck is made of. So I'll take stuff like that and then also repurpose wood from different guitars, old bodies. That one is an old Jackson Dinky that I had. I did not like the guitar at all. That's no shade to Jackson. I love Jackson guitars. But that specific model I didn't care for. But I also didn't want it to just like go in the trash. So I kept it for all these years, get to this project and said, you know what if we just like literally rebuild it, but like sustainably? So that's what I've been working on for the last year and a half, and that's what we have now.
Thanks for watching Peach Jam. There's more from this artist. We have all the musical performances together as a music video, and you can watch it by clicking below. Also, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, tell your friends, call your senator, whatever. All that stuff actually does help. And if you know an artist that should be on Peach Jam, send me an email. It's peachjam@gpb.org.